Dinky-Doo, my hearties. A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McClue. Welcome, I say, to our Saturday evening. Is this not just absolutely fabulous? 1 hour of superb, scintillating entertainment, information, education, all for you from me, Scottie McClue. How amazing is that? Dinky-Doo. Welcome for joining us. There's Debs, Damien, Tam, and Scott Mass. Guys, remember to tell me where you're watching from. That's the most important thing. Jungle Mouth has joined us tonight and is the first up. Is that not just incredible? Brian's there, Aleka, Trevor, Corey. Fantastic stuff. Sean. That is absolutely wonderful. Hello, I'm in Preston Pans. Are you in the Pans, Tam? We love the Pans. Fantastic. Love you. Thank you very much, Corey. Dinky-Doo. Brian, how lovely to see you. Dinky-Doo. First names only, of course, but tell us where you are. I tell you. Good evening, Scottie. Susan, a very good evening to you. And Top Swahili. Good evening, Scottie, and always lovely to have Top Swahili with us. That is amazing. Tell us where you're watching from, Dinky-Doo, Scottie. Michael, Dinky-Doo, how lovely to have you with us, I tell you. Orange or green? Well, it depends if you're having fruit or vegetable, I tell you. So there you are. Wonderful stuff. Good evening, Dinky-Doo. Excellent, Scott Mass. So lovely to have you with us, and welcome. I say, did you all get the little warning to tell you that I was popping up? I tell you. Now, who else have we got here? Oh, we're getting stickers from the fan club. Thank you, Darcy. Dinky-Doo. There we are. Do you like haggis? I don't like haggis, no. I love haggis. Absolutely amazing. You're missing the Scotland match. Well, I mean, so what? You know, why do we all have to watch football? It should be on a Saturday afternoon, and that's it, 1 hour a week. Scottie McClue's on, so the people watching the Scotland match could be missing Scottie McClue. I tell you, that's what's happening there. Dinky-Doo, thank you very much. Rich, lovely to have you with us. And the wee barber, I tell you. Guys, remember, I won't necessarily respond to some of your messages. You're watching Scottie McClue, I tell you. So make sure we get that right. Now, who have we got here? Miss Anna Mimi McClue. Guys, tell us where you're watching from. Very important. That's when we really get started. When you say, I am watching from such and such, and then we can open the world up because we're worldwide. So there you have it. We're worldwide now. There's the wonderful Andrea Downey says it's 2-0. Who's it 2-0 for? Fife, Dunfermline. I'm watching from Northern Ireland, says T2. That is beautiful. I tell you. Long time no see, Raj. Fantastic. They're 2 down, says, who's saying that? Watching from Cumbernauld, says Sam. So there we have it. Now, Caden, no point in going on like that because we won't be mentioning. I can tell you. Watching from the north of Scotland. Whereabouts in the north of Scotland? I think we should be told. There we are. I was on holiday in Newquay over the summer. How have you been, Andrew? Newquay is wonderful, but it's quite a trek from Scotland. Watching from Lapland. Thank you, Santa. Dinky-Doo, you're going to be busy. I can tell. Say hi to Lily. Yes, we can. Jimmy from Bargedy. We like Bargedy. The Carn Bros, Scottie. Do you have a kilt? I do, Jace. Yes, I wear my kilt. We're listening from Glasgow, says Lisa. Lisa, isn't that absolutely lovely? I tell you. Andrew says 9 hours, 2 overnights on the way down. Were you on a stagecoach? I don't mean the buses. I mean the original stagecoach. Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue. There we are, watching from Leyland. Scottie's the best. We love Leyland. Leyland's like little Scotland. You've got your own pipe band, I tell you. Jay, we will never, ever, ever, ever say hello to anybody like that. So that's a lifetime ban. There we are, guys. Remember, if you come on and you mention anything dodgy, lifetime ban. I tell you. Kilmarnock, says Taylor. We're in Kilmarnock. Fantastic. That's what it's all about. You were driving, Andrew. Well done, sir. I tell you. And how are the family? Can you send love, please? I think that's very, very important. Très important, as we say en français. It's wonderful. There we are now. I've had the most amazing week, I tell you. So it's lovely to be with you all on Saturday night. Lots to talk about, big, big news going on. And there should be a big radio announcement in about 2 weeks' time exactly. All good, Scottie. I hope you're doing well. Excellent. And oh, yes, we're doing very well, Andrew, because there's a big radio announcement coming soon. Who have I got here? Fantastic. Scottie, can you weigh in on the BBC Trump saga? Well, I can't really, because that's about to, go big, 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 but not for comment. But I see that there's been a huge increase in the figures being mentioned. And that poor man, that poor Mr. Trump, I was just thinking about it tonight, the stuff that man's had to put up with, to try and smear him because of the good work he's doing worldwide. You see what I mean? And people don't want him to get the credit for that. So there we are. That's the Dome in Edinburgh. Got the Christmas lights up. Wonderful, Andrew. Christmas is always a fabulous time of year. And Edinburgh does it very well. So does Glasgow. So does Glasgow. I've done many a big Christmas do at Glasgow, I can tell you. So there we have it. Dinky-Doo. That's what it's all about. And I mean, what they did to poor Donald Trump, that was shocking. Not the first time, though. Remember a similar thing happening to the late Alex Salmond. There we are. They edited something to make it look totally different to what it was. And of course, everybody heard it and was on it right away. And it caused some embarrassment. Have you seen the thing in Inverness? I take it you mean Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. I haven't actually seen her. We're being gubbed 3-0 so far, Scottie. Professor Numpty Head. I tell you, Professor Numpty Head, apparently at your mob at the game last week, were talking during the silence for remembrance. Did you hear that? Are you doing a big bash this year? Oh, I think we'll have to have Scottie McClue's Hogmanay Bash in its 33rd year this year. 3-3. And then we move into, we're in our 34th year, but this will be the 33rd year of the Hogmanay Bash. Hi from Shotts, says Carson. Carson, we love you in Shotts. A beautiful part of the world, I tell you. Guys, can everyone watching get following and sharing? That's the most important thing. I tell you, Scottie McClue has been the biggest thing at Hogmanay for 34 years, beating all the telly, the radio, everything. And when we did the live radio, quite something. We might have good news this year on the radio front. Well, we will. I'm pretty sure we will. Andrew, you have no idea what's coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I tell you, I should be able to tell you more in a fortnight. But my lips, I've had to zip it for now. I tell you, get sharing, guys, if you're watching on TikTok. Get following, get sharing. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, go up to your TikTok bio and you'll see the links to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Honestly, everybody should be following Scottie McClue. So there we are. Play the funny law chat all these years ago. Yes, it's still on the go, Andrew. There's so much Scottie McClue on the net. What do you prioritize, Andrew? What do you put up next for people's edification, entertainment, enjoyment, and education and delight? What do you actually, what I just did there, what do you actually do with all these wonderful, wonderful videos? Paul has just joined us. Dinky-Doo, Paul. How lovely to have you with us. And welcome, welcome. We're a little bit behind on the old TikTok. Dinky-Doo Scottie from Wishaw. Johnny's just joined us. Hello, Dinky-Doo Sonny. Lovely to have you here. We've got the #1 gifter badge. We're in Rotherham. Lovely to have you with us in Rotherham. I tell you. Now then, guys, some of you probably won't get an answer because you're watching Scottie McClue and we're worldwide at the moment. So if you're asking something too specific, you probably won't get an answer. That sort of stuff. Hi, Numpty Heed, says Susan. Numpty Heed, I hope you're prioritizing Scottie McClue and you've got the Scotland game on in the background. They shouldn't really put football on at the same time as Scottie McClue. Otherwise, obviously, they could lose a lot of viewers. I tell you, thank you, Kai. Absolutely. Stay fabulous. So there we are. Now, hello, dear Dinky-Doo. Now, fantastic. I will pay TV license if the BBC pay 1 billion, says Jace. You should be paying your TV license. Anyway, hello from glorious Greenock, Scottie, Mayhearty, Dinky-Doo, Matthew. We love Greenock. I tell you. There we are. Now, what have we got here? Dinky-Doo, Mr. McClue, says JP. That is absolutely fantastic. Guys, remember not to spam. So otherwise we'll have to mute you. There's somebody spamming a bit. We'll not ban him, we'll mute him. That's wonderful. That's the stuff. There we go. I tell you. Now, who else have we got here? Hello, says Max. Hello, Max. Lovely to have you with us on a big Dinky-Doo, I say to you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Numpty Heed. Scotland are on the comeback, says Robbie. Robbie, from what I'm getting told here, they're going to have to come back some way. Denmark 2-1 down, Scottie. Right, so there you are. Scotland playing Denmark. Who's playing? I tell you, we have to find these things out. These are details. Football should be on for 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon, either live or on the telly, and then that's it. Good evening, Scotties, is the wonderful Alex Robertson, one of our finest actors. Dinky-Doo, Alex. How lovely to have you with us, I say to you. Scotland are playing Greece, says Robbie. Excellent. Right, Greece and Scotland. And what's the score now, Andrew? See if you can keep us up to date. I tell you. Denmark v Belarus. Robbie, why are you watching a different game? I tell you. 3-1 to Greece, says Leo. Oh, no, my goodness me. I tell you, that's what it's all about. 3-2, says Robbie. 3-2 as it just moved. Scotland just scored. 3-2. Right, so we're on our way back. Football's coming home. I tell you. Now, where's Leo? Wonderful Leo. Thank you very much. Proper lad, says TikTok user. Lizzie, you're spamming us. We need to mute that. There we are. We cannot be spammed. One time I might not read stuff out if I don't think it's part of the show. So there we go. We could change that, I tell you, at some point. So don't panic too much. But remember, there's some stuff I might not respond to. Great goal. Thoughts on Reform UK? Well, Alex, we're not really political on here, but I do see Reform absolutely romping forwards, but I don't think they're into Scottish independence. So they're Cumbernauld pantomime this year called Baltic. I tell you, Alex, that is amazing. And a lovely invitation to the press night. It just depends, Alex. Things are about to change dramatically in my life. So there we are. Dean into the Royal Artillery. There we are. I tell you. Charlene, thank you very much. Lovely to have you with us. I tell you, thank you, Kayla. You'll be fabulous as well. Waj has just joined us live. Waj, Dinky-Doo. Guys, can everybody get sharing if you're watching on the TikTok? Scottie, when you're back in the radio, too many cheeky mittens these days. Yes, we should be back in the radio very, very soon. And I shall tell you what's happening. Thank you very much for liking the live. If Scotland becomes independent, will it rejoin the EU? Where you see things have changed there. Scotland did not want to leave the EU. The EU had been very good for Scotland because it was economic. The European Economic Union, European Economic Community, the EEC, the Common Market, originally the CM, and we had a seat at the big table. But the problem is the EU has shifted and is now political with totally unelected people running it. So that's not so good for Scotland. I tell you, we'd have to do quite a deal. 3-2 the news, says Numpty Heed. We're getting back Numpty Heed, I tell you. So there we go. But I wouldn't like that to hold up Scottish independence, because to me, Scottish independence is economic rather than political. And when people say Scotland's getting some more money, remember we give all of our money to Westminster. So there you are. They get the lot, £90 billion. And they give us some back. So we're just getting some of our own money back. That's the whole idea. But as long as everyone supports the Crown in Scotland, and a lot of dafties are going, oh, no, Marking. These are the people that lose Scotland her independence. Yes, I tell you. I don't know if we've still got the crime of treason or if that got shifted during one of the Labour administrations, but going against the Crown, tut. Kareem has joined us. Kareem, lovely to have you with us. We'll open the lines, Kareem. And apparently I haven't got the speakers plugged in, but apparently we don't need them because people can hear you anyway. So if you want to give us a call, Kareem, you know the numbers. We've got two numbers. We've got 0333 335 6709. We've got that going. Or we've got 0141 628 9795. We've got our old number back as well. So if you wanted to come on, not a problem. How good is that? Wonderful. And guys, a lovely, lovely remembrance show last week. Amazing. People watch it during the week. We end up with thousands upon thousands watching Scottie McClue. That's why I still do the Saturday nights, because it goes up on like an accumulator. It's quite outstanding. It really is. But obviously, if there's a big football match on, people think, oh, God, Miss McClue. Hey, I tell you. Get sharing. Whoa! Who do we have here? You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, it's Kareem, Scottie.
Kareem, how amazing is this? Let me just check on the internal speakers that we've got you nice and loud. Yes, we have. So that is rather wonderful. I
How are we, Scottie?
We're very well, Kareem. Absolutely amazing. And as I say, good news coming up. I know I'm always saying that, but it just gets more exciting every week.
Well, 'tis the season as well, isn't it, Scottie?
It is the season to be jolly. But if McClue is going back on the radio for Christmas, what a Christmas present for the nation.
I can't wait, Scottie. I think we like old times, especially all the other stations.
Yes.
It'll be fantastic.
Well, there's even talk as soon as 1st December, so that's not bad. I mean, whether we'll be able to make that, because as you know, Kareem, these things take a bit of organization,
Yes.
and I'll have to have, I mean, my lips. Sorry?
We'll be there supporting you equally. We'll be there supporting you whenever you're back on.
Kareem, I can't thank you enough for all your wonderful support over the years. You and I go back a long way. I think we're looking at 7-8 years now since you came on Nation Radio.
Has it been that long, Scottie?
Yes. I think we're looking at, it just passes in a flash. I think we're looking at 2018.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and we had the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, and then I think it just got too much for the team because they were working all week.
Yeah.
And their weekends were into their flagship program, if you like.
I remember when you came on, Scottie, and the reason I phoned when you were on Nation was to remember when I was a wee boy and you were on the radio, and I always remembered who you were, and I thought, that's Scottie, I'm going to try and get through and get a call. And as you know, I was lucky to get through a few times on Nation Radio.
Well, we had you. You were first on. You must have been dialing for about 10 minutes.
I kept dialing, trying to get through, and I was lucky a few times, yeah.
It was just absolutely wonderful, and it was a super show, but I think what happens with McClue, very quickly the station gets overwhelmed with phone calls, with technical stuff, with all that, but it's what the people want. And it's in a funny way, I shouldn't say it's made me laugh, but over the years when people say, would you like Scottie McClue in your station? They go, oh, I don't know about that. And what they're actually, it's a compliment in a backhanded way, because they're saying it might just be a bit big for us because everyone piles in.
Well, I think with Nation Radio, as much as they are a good radio station, I think they just ended up like the rest, which, that's boring. You want to be different. You want to be out there. And the changes they made, I think they're just the same as any other radio station. You could turn the radio on and you wouldn't know what radio station it is.
Right. Well, you see, I don't know, because nowadays I'm so busy with other stuff, I don't get to listen to radio in the way that I used to enjoy. But also, the thing about the phone-in, and I mean, Nation's a very, very good station, but the thing about the phone-in is it's an appointment to listen. So I was rather chuffed that everybody that was listening had decided to listen. The telly, you can come across something and you end up watching it, if it's good. Whereas people were going, right, let's get tuned into Scott FM and hear what McClue's saying tonight, or Century, or Hallam, or whatever the station was, Magic Radio at the time, Talk Radio in London, all of them, they used to say, let's get tuned in and hear what Scottie's up to tonight. And that becomes the thing. But you put noses out of joint because other broadcasters want part of the glory. Managers want some of the glory when it starts. Oh, yes, I've always known that was a winner, all that kind of nonsense. And you think, well, why did you not put it on your station?
I think at the end of the day, Scottie, as I said, if they're producing the same as every other station, I wouldn't want that. I would want a station where it's different, and and I think that people get to interact.
Yes.
And people respond better to that because they feel that's their local station. They can talk to someone, they can get on. A lot of these stations, as you said, the producers are robots. You know, they're not got the big ideas, and they're all the same. And you don't want that from a radio station. Yeah, you want good music, you want good chat, you want good banter, and you want local issues as well. And I think that's what radio's stayed so popular for all over the years.
Well, I think also running radio stations, when you look back at the history of radio in Scotland, there were, you know, pretty big personalities actually running them. And they were the people you spoke to. But this is not just radio, Kareem. This is everything in life. You went to see the person. I can't say nowadays the man. But in those days, we used to say, so-and-so is the man. Go and see him. And he'll decide if he's putting you on or if he's not. And of course, that's just it. I couldn't tell you who runs these things now. You know? But I mean, I worked for big personalities in their own right, business-wise, and everybody knew. The public all knew who they were.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Scottie, is when you started radio to where you are now, when we look at 20, 30, 40 years ahead in the future, as much as technology has changed with AI and all these things that are coming out, radio's still going to be there in the exact same.
Yeah, because as soon as it starts talking with the people, not at the people, to the people, and starts having a chat with the people, it becomes, they will adopt the station. You know, and I mean, I think it really, really used to wind up very well-established senior business people who were running radio stations in Scotland when folk were saying to them, you know, Scottie McClue, we love the Scottie McClue, we listen to that now. And they hadn't got anything like that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, I think radio will become even more popular, and with these robotic stations where they're copying each other.
The jukebox.
Yes, they need to think about this in the future because, as you know, a lot of cars now are starting to be, well, it's in the pipeline, they're starting to do it. But if you think down 10, 15 years down the line, Scottie, you know, they're going to be self-drive. You type in where you want to go, the car is going to take you there. You don't need to do anything. So if you're interacting, if you're on the radio, if you're talking to people through the radio while you're listening and playing on whatever device while you're getting driven there, you know, radio, I think, can change that way as well, away from this, you know, everyone's playing the same stuff, more to interaction.
Well, you see, what people paid me huge compliment. They said, this man's done, you know, as much for radio as Marconi did, you know, things like that. They were all doing that. But I mean, there was a lot of fun, and what I've always had with my audience is fun, because these are human beings. And when people go, well, look, we'll automate a radio station and hopefully people will listen to the music, that will happen for a while, and then suddenly, like I said to the television man, and it proved true, your core business will just disappear because there's so much media, you know. There's Dodsey from the Isle of Man, and Dodsey says, Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue, what, the other night you left quite promptly just after 9:30 after I sent you all the gifts on TikTok. Dodsey, I don't know what had happened there, but you're sending me gifts tonight, and it's very kind. I tell you, red card for Greece, somebody's saying in the football. Even if, Scottie, if you went on Celebrity Mastermind, what would be your specialist subject, or would be sport for choice? Kareem, specialist subject, the Clyde Steamers from 1864.
Absolutely. Scottie, just before I came on the phone, there was a few people talking about Europe there. And I know I don't want to get into too political.
No, but go for it.
We would say we need to get back into Europe And I would say we definitely more than ever need Scottish independence. And I agree with you in terms of the monarchy. Not everyone might like the monarchy, but the monarchy's there. It's there for a purpose, and that's a compromise. If you want an independent Scotland, the monarchy needs to be there, because there's a lot of people that support the monarchy and they will not support independence.
They won't if the monarchy, and it's as simple as that, Kareem. It's actually as simple as that. Dodsley says he's going to chat to me over YouTube. It's as simple as that. It's so that we don't get hit with it. See, as soon as we get hit with independence and we think we could get a clear run for independence, we've got big personalities, the Westminster government's on the back foot, we would like independence, we're going to go for it. If they ask one simple question, what would happen to the monarchy? And the answer that could be given the last time, well, that would be up to the people of Scotland. No, wrong answer. Wrong answer. You've got to, the monarchy will be 100% secure in the hands of the Scottish people. And we will write that into our contract, from that point of view, because we're splitting the parliaments. Well, they're already split, but you're splitting the parliaments apart. You're not splitting the crowns. They were united in 1603 by Scotland taking over the English crown. That's why they should all be singing God Save the King at the football match.
Well, I find it's just things that people need to think about, Scottie, because at the end of the day, it's been there for a while, it's going to be there, and it's an institution. For example, I've said to you before in the past, if any of the royal family were to come closer to home where I stayed for a visit, I wouldn't go out my way to go and see them. And that's just me. But I wouldn't be moaning, I wouldn't be shouting, I wouldn't be talking down about people that would make their own.
Oh, the shouting is the rudest, most appalling thing under the sun. Can you imagine if somebody who wasn't Catholic was shouting at the Pope? Do you know what I mean? It would just be such an embarrassment, from that point of view. Just such an embarrassment. And just the shouting basically is just wrong anyway. And our world leaders, that poor man, Donald Trump, and people are going, he's no poor, he's very poor with all the stuff that's been done to him because of the big picture. He's taking on some very big hitters, and he's cleaning the world up, and they're trying to do him down all the time instead of going, Donald, we're going to run with you, chum.
Well, for me, Scottie, with the royal family, in terms of, you don't need to like them, but again, there's people that do support them, and as I said, if they were coming up closer to home, I wouldn't go out my way to go and see them. But equally, if my neighbours or friends or family are going to see them, go and have a nice time. It's not causing any harm whatsoever. Let them do what they're there to do, and leave them to it. That's it. They're not causing any harm. If anything, they've got charities. They are helping people.
Kareem, it's not even when you say I wouldn't go out my way to see them. A lot of that is fading anyway, people going out their way to see them, because that's a kind of old-fashioned thing. I remember an old teacher of mine who was born in 1912, and he said, see if you ever saw the king. That was your life made. Now, he was talking about King George V. Stuff like that. So things have changed anyway. The monarchy aren't the superstars that they were, because a lot of the mystery, particularly with what one or two members of the family have allegedly been up to, that hasn't actually helped things along. So by you saying you wouldn't go out your way to go and see them, why, lots of people wouldn't, because you could see them on the news anyway at night, and you'll get a better view.
I suppose my point with that would be like, I'm like celebrities, Scottie, as well, right? I'm not interested. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to read.
You're probably not going to go out and see a famous singer or something like that and cheer and scream and shout. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My point was being. Like,
although I hope you'd come and see SCOTTIE McCLUE.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, I think leave them be, let them get on with it. You know, if you want to see them, go and see them. If you don't, just go on with your life. You know, they're not causing harm. You're not causing harm if you go on with your life. But I think that's going to be crucial for an independent Scotland.
Oh, I think absolutely just go with it. What I would say, Kareem, the old adage from the top business guy to me was, if you don't care for the incumbent, and he was talking about a chairperson, at least respect the office. And it goes the same with President Trump. If somebody doesn't like him, he is nevertheless the president of the United States of America. You know, and that's the whole thing about it. Now, you see, before you go, Kareem, let's just have a look. Here's somebody here. Scottie, these numpties need to be told about the monarchy. One king for Scotland. Long live Dinky-Doo, says Matthew. There we go. So it's out there. People are beginning to hear what I'm saying. But if I was ready for independence, I do not want caught out by some Westminster government question what's happening with the monarchy. You see, we told you what's happening with the monarchy. No problem.
Well, the SNP made it very clear as well that they support the monarchy, that would not be a question. So I don't think there would be anything to worry that, you know, the monarchy is safe under the SNP's hands.
Brilliant. And I mean, as far as I remember, they have actually given that undertaking.
Yes, yeah. So I think the one that's catching up is the Greens, you know, but you know, they're always a small party.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Greens are going to get such a shock because people are going to say, look, we're not paying for all this green agenda in centuries to come. We're not paying. We're going to drill for oil and gas in the River Clyde if necessary and get cheap bills. You know, and I mean, any politician needs to be making that a priority.
Yeah, it's a delicate subject, you know, and but I think they're jumping too quickly. You know, they have to transition slowly. There's people's jobs, livelihood, and this, you know, we're the most expensive country in the world.
Kareem, people are starving to death and can't keep warm. They're freezing to death. Oldies are freezing to death. And these people are going, yeah, we're going to invest so many billion in this green future. And you say, get your billions invested in keeping these people warm, supposing it's a paraffin heater.
Yeah, I know it's their own principles. Well, listen, Scottie, thank you very much for taking my call.
Not at all, sir. We love to hear you. And Dinky-Doo.
Thanks. Have a good week, Scottie.
And you, sir. There's our Kareem. What a great man. Yeah, when I was wee, I mean, Paraffin Young from central Scotland. Where was Paraffin Young from again? Was it Shotts or round a bit there? Kirkcudilloch, I'm trying to remember. Good call, Kareem. Absolutely, Susan. Now, Amanda there, I would not watch the Royal Family if they were in my back garden. Well, Amanda, you need to get 100% if you're pro-Scots. Get 100% behind the crown and stop your nonsense. There we are. Evening, everybody. Dinky-Doo. I tell you. Dodsey says, sorry about the capitals. No, Dodsey, don't you worry. I tell you, never apologize for capitals. I type in uppercase all the time. People say, why are you shouting? I say, I am not shouting. I just do so much responding that it saves a lot of time. Now, who have we got here? Matthew Dinky-Doo. Everybody's joining us. It was our monarchy in the first place. We gave them ours in 1603. Brodie, You're 100% correct. Scotland took over the English crown. The monarchy is Scottish. The motto is Nemo me impune lacessit, Latin for what or meddle me. Well, that's the Scots for it. It's actually nobody attacks me with impunity. I tell you. There's Kareem back with us. Robert says, I've got a Scottish wife. I live in Florida. Brilliant. So you'll know President Trump then. Robert says, economic and political independence for Scotland. We can all get behind a separate republic. Is Scotland going to win? I am English with Irish parents. No, Robert. Wrong word. No republic ever in Scotland. All right. So there, it's our monarchy. And off we jolly well goes. Thank you, Mixo. Yes, I'm not just an athlete, you know. I can tell you. Do you want a pie? Says Iris. Iris in Dublin. Of course I want a pie. We love pies. I tell you. Who have we got here? How do I express my opinion on the live? You're doing it. We're reading it out. 091888. Great show, Scotty. Love it, says Jock. I tell you, Fig Bart has joined us. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Scotty, get me in your live. There we go. The truth, Dinky-Doo, D, Dinky-Doo. We always have the truth on here, D. Scotty, did you manage to get the stray thread on your Glengarry the other night? Yeah, we got the scissors and chopped it. So there we go. Now, who have we got here? Tupswahe has not phoned yet. Do you like the immigration? No, I don't like the small boats coming over. I wonder what Churchill would have done about that had that been the Nazis, as he called them in the Second World War, coming into our country. Yes, we got the stray thread on the Glengarry. I tell you, Robert says, I agree. Good one, Robert. Top man. No, the word republic is what kills Scottish independence. Stone dead. I tell you, Irish lads joined us. Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have you all with us. Now then, who have we got here? We did invade the English. We did the SCOTTIE McCLUE. Scotty. This is incredible, guys. Scotty, what do you make of the SNP? Well, the SNP has been in power for almost 20 years. So the Scottish people obviously adore them. The Labour Party has been in the political wilderness because they didn't back independence in 2014. Mark my words, if Labour had backed independence in 2014, they'd have been in power now. They would have been in power for 20 years, but no, that's a spent force. And the Reform Party, I haven't seen anything about being pro-independence. So the SNP are everybody's darling at the moment. I'm not political. I don't support any parties. Scotty, you're live the now on 102.1 in central Scotland. D, what a lovely thing to say. I tell you. Now, Misco, let's give you a lifetime ban. Guys, let's give Mixo a lifetime ban. Okay, here we go. Lifetime ban for Mixo. That's the end of him. Wonderful. Right. Okay, Coquet. Ollie's just joined us. Carbolics with us. Fantastic. Mixo. I'm brand new, by the way. You sound brand new. That's wonderful. Now, who else have we got here? Big up, Scotty. Absolutely. This should be the biggest account on TikTok and YouTube, guys. We don't want the small boats. The UK needs to start looking after its people first before offering free homes, jobs, So there we are, people making their way illegally. Well, I don't know why they don't just pile them straight onto a ferry and straight back. So there you are. I tell you. Now then, who have we got here? How do I phone? You pick up your telephone and dial the number. That's what it's all about. I say to you, Mark has joined us. Dinky-Doo, Mark. How lovely to have you with us. Kadam says that would be illegal. Well, yes, because of the European Court of Human Rights. But if we came out of that and said, look, we've got a problem here, we're getting overwhelmed with illegal immigration, we're coming out of the European Court of Human Rights, then I think it would just be a question of, the RAF flying over them and getting the Navy in and just, well, you wouldn't want to tow them back because the channel is dangerous. So there we are, I tell you. Now, who have we got here? We're going to ban wee Brian. That's the end of him as well. Another one, dodgy. Shouldn't be on here. I tell you, this is for quality people, guys. Always remember that. Very, very high quality of person who watches Scottie McClue on a Saturday night. And the radio's coming back as well. Dodgy says, because that would cost even more money. Maybe more than the way they do it now. Well, I don't know. If you just, on the beach, shepherded them into a big van and then straight on to the ferry and straight back, said, there you go, that's you back. You could run a shuttle all night and then you wouldn't have a single illegal immigrant in. I tell you. Get these idiots off the stream, Scotty. I tell you, Ali Dinky-Doo. So there we have it. There's wee Ryan. Let's get rid of wee Ryan as well, guys. It's a shame we have to block accounts, but you always get it. I heard a lovely one this week that intelligent people have to not say things in case they upset the idiots. I tell you. Now, what have we got? It was legal under the Dublin Accord. There we are. No, because the UK withdrew from the EU. So what are you saying, Kadam? Tell me again. You're saying back into the EU. There we go. How do I phone you? You just dial the number. That's what it's about. Cheryl's joined us. Fantastic. Now, where is Tupswahey tonight? We haven't mentioned the Patches, Tups, so come on. And apparently you could all hear very well when Kareem was on. What's the number, says Alice? Two numbers, Alice. One is 0333 335 6709, 6709, or 0141628 9795. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Oh, Scotty. It's Tupswahey, of course.
Tups, we were heartbroken. We thought you might have been watching football.
No, God, no. For goodness sake.
Oh.
You lost your senses, man.
Oh,
No,
what a relief. I thought the man's watching football over McClue.
No.
Nobody ever watches football over McClue.
No, I'll leave that kind of stuff to real men, not lily livered pantyweights like me, you know.
What you mean is real men like you.
Well, thank you very much. That's kind of me. I actually wasn't really thinking of phoning in because I didn't think I had too much chat, but we'll test that hypothesis and see if I can talk about literally nothing for minutes and minutes and minutes. We'll see. Well,
Carbonic77 says, Tups Disney like footy.
No, I absolutely can't stand it. Hey, I missed you.
I didn't even know the game was on, so I think I've gone one better than you.
No, me neither. I would have found out afterwards because a lot of drunken louts will be walking down my normally quiet street.
What people say to me, are you watching the game? I go, what game? What are you talking about? And this afternoon, the telly was on, and I think I just watched the news or something. And then I'm just muting some accounts. We've got some idiots on here. And it said, now it's time for the ladies' football. And I thought, no, I think there's more things we could do with our Saturday afternoon.
Did the ladies' team swap tops after a cup final or something like that? Because I might watch it. If they
I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
but yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I was otherwise engaged last weekend, but I watched the show back on playback, and what I was thinking, I watched it back on YouTube. You can watch it back after the event,
right?
But you can increase the speed. So what I did was I watched 1.5 times speed just to hear if my name was mentioned in my absence.
Oh, there's every chance it will be mentioned in the absence.
I'm obsessed with my radio. And yeah, so I played it back at 1.5. And what I realised was that if you and I live just decided to speak at 50% faster, we could get right through everything really quickly.
Oh, yes.
No more time for other calls.
Well, what I have to say to you, which is just amazing, I get huge compliments. Now, whether they're deserved or not, I don't know. But I get huge compliments, people that I've watched on YouTube, and they've said, this show is amazing. Scottie, this should be going out internationally. We should all be able to get access to this. And I say, well, you've got access to it. You just need to look it up on YouTube.
Exactly.
You know, and the YouTube figures are not high. The TikTok figures are through the roof. Thousands will have been watching right now. Don't be fooled by wee numbers at the top. Do you know what I mean?
I know that, yeah. And it's people that watch things on their phones. I've been using computers since the 80s, since I was a kid. But I've gradually built up my computer, so I've got a lovely, massive computer monitor. I spent a lot of money on it, and I shall be darned if I'm going to watch anything on a tiny, tiny little phone.
Oh.
I don't take many moral positions, Scottie, but this is a moral position. I will not watch media content on my phone. If that makes me crazy, then so be it.
No, get the big telly on. I mean, I was absolutely amazed. It was neighbours that said to me, they said, we watch you on the telly all the time. It's brilliant. But what I was thinking, there's going to be some very, very big radio news soon. I know I'm always saying this, but there obviously I can't go into the discussions. But there's chat going back and forward all the time. And you know it's very, very big when I withdraw. I say, well, let me know how it goes, you know, because they're having meetings and discussions. And it's just absolutely brilliant. And of course, what they're going to do is really use the technology. And that's the winner. Because at the moment, I mean, Tops, what we're on at the moment, no disrespect to my good self, but I've put this together myself. Now, I'm no great genius. I used to ask a lot of my young viewers, what should I be doing? And they would say, you need to get such and such. What was it? What was it you called it? What's the one that it decides the power of it?
That decides the power of it?
Yeah, on the computer.
God.
So what's the one?
Processor.
The processors. Yeah. Says, no, Scottie, you're going to have to invest in this. You're going to have to invest in that. And then the next thing was, we've not got enough bandwidth. It's a bit pixelated, Scottie. It's not very good tonight. Scottie, we can't hear you. Your microphone's poor. Blah, 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 blah. So I addressed all of these. And here we are, which is no bad, you know.
Yeah, well, when you were talking about higher power, I thought you were getting all theological on me for a moment there, Scottie.
Oh, lovely. No, the old processor, that was it. They said, no, you'll need a such and such. So I had to learn all these things.
Yeah.
Tops, it was a guy, I'd launched a radio station in 1990, Central FM radio. It's still on air and running, 35 years later. It's absolutely brilliant. And you know, I mean, I'm chuffed to bits every time I see it pop up. I think, yeah, there we go. 35 years, all the doubting Thomas, I doubt it, I doubt all this stuff. Anyway, and Scottie's in his 34th year, as you know. And I think, yeah, and you know, this chap said to me, came round one night, he went, get your coat, we're going out. And I said, where to? I'll show you. And he'd booked a computer course. I said, oh, I'm not going to need to know anything about computers. And he went to me like this. He said, son, can I just explain to you, where are the dinosaurs? And I said, well, obviously they've been dead for billions of years ago. Exactly. Come and start learning about computers. Well, fortunately, I did, and ended up with a certificate in desktop publishing.
Oh, that's cool. Well, as I say, I've been using computers since the earliest Clive Sinclair ones. You know, fortunately, I didn't own one of them, but I used my first computer personally in 1980, and
Wow.
I was 11 years old. So I've been using them, but what I've found is it's just as I get older, it's just me. The patience that I've got to deal with them has diminished so much. So the amount of times I've almost thrown my phone out of the car window when it's just, you know, touch screens, and oh my goodness, I'm getting old.
Yeah, but do you remember the great big, massive, great big things with tapes standing, you know, like big freezers? Now,
my uncle worked for Glasgow City Council Computer Centre at May Street at the Anderson, you know, the Anderson Shopping Centre in Glasgow, you know, the big concrete monstrosity.
Well, Radio Clyde was originally in there. The first time I went on Radio Clyde, it was at the Anderson Centre.
Well, technically, the first time I ever used a computer would be in about 79, and it was a punch card machine.
Oh, my goodness. Well, no, I used an NCR batch machine.
Oh, wow.
And it had mag tape.
Oh, yeah. That's what proper. To this day, if I watch something filmed in the 70s, a computer is basically a stand-up tape drive. But that, to my knowledge, that still looks like what a computer should look like, as far as I'm concerned. 2 tape reels spinning around and talking to you. But hey, Scottie, I've talked for too long.
Well, no, you've never talked for too long, but we will have to go because we're just about to run out of time.
Well, hey, I'll point out, that's not bad, because I thought I had absolutely no chat whatsoever.
Oh! Don't you ever think that, Pinocchio, right? Your chat is quality, and I think if you and I ran out of chat, the game's up.
Oh, that would create a singularity. The universe would disappear, Scottie. All right, well, take care of yourself.
Look after yourself, Tups, and regards to Mrs. Tups, and as we say in the best of circles, Dinky-Doo.
Take care, man.
Take care, la. There we are. That's our Tups. What a fine call. It's been a great show tonight, Scottie. I connect my phone to my TV for YouTube. You can message. The watch and style, says Robert. Scottie, turn the caller's volume up slightly. Your voice is booming over his, no offense. Dodsey, I can't. That's him full up. I need to turn myself down. Say hello. Where's the old Scottie from Scott FM? He's right here. I tell you. So there we go. Wonderful. And this, everybody calls this the finest hour in the week. Hello to Fiona, we say, and to Lewis, Dinky-Doo. Guys, thank you, LM, Dinky-Doo, Mystic, Dinky-Doo. Stick your tongue out and say ta-ta, bye-bye. There we go. That's our beautiful people from the old TikTok and YouTubers. We're going to have to say goodnight and God bless to you. What a lovely, lovely show. Stay fabulous. Have a beautiful week. Ta-ra, lads. Ta-ta. Tongue out. Say ta-ta. Ta-ta.